wonderful Tuesday. And we are now Wednesday. We have a topic talking about the ways you can source this year and what's the most common ones, and kind of look like our reaction and how we approach it and what do we actually use today.
Okay.
And then we're going to go over our sales as well. We have 11 items going out with some better, higher dollar items
Yay.
today compared to what we sold yesterday. So, same amount of items. And that's with 0 listings yesterday, by the way.
Yeah,
so,
we
we'll
were-
talk about that a little bit later as
Okay.
well. But before we get started, my name is Aaron.
I'm Amber.
And we are full time resellers. We go live Monday through Thursday
Yes.
to give you some details of something related to reselling.
What's it like being a reseller?
And all those good things.
What do they have to do every
Today's
day?
topic, talking about what options are there out there to source in today's in world. And trust me, there is far more than what I'm sharing today, because there's like a lot of little tiny niche ones as well. But we're going to start with garage sales, yard sales, and community sales. I look at them all as the same because it's all people taking stuff from their house, putting it outside their house. Maybe they have neighbors doing it too, but that would probably be the number one way to source
Yeah,
today.
our favorite.
It is our, I
Almost.
wouldn't say our favorite.
No,
I
I
wouldn't
think
say our
you're
favorite.
right.
I'd say it's our most common.
Yes.
One.
It's the one we've been to the most
Yes.
in our career.
And where most of our items are coming from is probably from that option.
Yep.
Number 2, I put church sales, rummage, could also
Silent
be your silent auction options. This would probably be my favorite
Yeah.
out of all of them, just because the buy cost is super low. Everything's in one location, so you'll oftentimes have a ton of inventory. I will say that the competition is really high,
Yeah.
and it can get incredibly stressful.
I was going to say, we really don't prioritize church sales as
We
our
don't.
number one to go to, but it's because their start time.
Yeah,
Right?
they
Like, if
usually.
their start time's earlier, then we would for sure do that.
Yeah, we would do it. But when they want to start at 8, there's
Yeah.
going to be garage sales and community sales that maybe start at 8, but
7.
then you can usually get in earlier.
Right.
But a lot of times church sales oftentimes really are strict about
Yeah.
8 o'clock. It's like 8:01. They're like, all right,
Now
we'll
the
open
door's
now.
opening.
Now, I will say there are certain times where you will find certain church sales that will actually open early.
I feel like those smaller churches,
Yeah.
you can usually get in earlier.
So like there's
the ones
one
that don't advertise as well.
that they always open about 35 minutes early. So I will go well over an hour early to be in line for that one.
Yes.
And then there's another one where we went 2 hours early this year, and we were like not even close to being the first person. And there was another picker that beat us to it, and they kind of cleaned out, but we still did really well. So that would be my number 2, my favorite,
Yeah.
but probably the second.
Where we source.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next up, I put return stores. So this would be bin stores and stuff like that, where it's goods that were typically at a Target or an Amazon, and then they get returned, because we're in that kind of environment where people like to return
Take
things.
it back.
And then something has to happen to those goods.
Yes.
So then they will sell them off in pallets to stores, and then those stores will resell those items to us.
That has been new to us. This is the
Yes.
first year we've started doing those, and boy, do we feel like we've missed the boat
Yeah.
in the past. 'Cause
I
this
will
has
say,
been
so
great.
this has probably been our
Most profitable.
number 2 out of
Like,
behind
really
garage
source. Okay,
sales
yeah.
in terms of like
Yeah.
the number of
How many
quantity
times
of
we do.
items. So this is probably one step below, and probably above church sales. Even though we like church sales more, we just don't have the opportunity to do those all the time. I will say too, this is a category that can have higher risk, because you're getting a lot of electronics a lot of times, and they were returned for a reason.
Yeah, usually.
Oftentimes. Now, not always the case.
Sometimes it's like a regret buy, and they just send it back.
Correct. Or it didn't fit.
Right.
Like maybe they bought an Apple Watch and
Or
it didn't
glove
fit.
or something.
Yeah. So all of those ways are possible. Now we're going to start going through some more options. Thrift stores and bin stores. So I put bin stores here because it's like the Goodwill bins and stuff
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
Thrift stores would probably be our number 4 on our list of what we source. I go to them very frequently. She doesn't as much. They used to be higher on our list.
We were there every day.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
And this used to be a main source. But honestly, that required a ton of time and commitment. And realistically, it just doesn't make sense when the return isn't really worth it. So I still go
Yeah.
because it's like really close to our house. And it just makes sense. And I also think it's something to brush up on your skills a little bit, because you can
Learn from
learn quite a bit.
scanning and taking your time there.
But there, it can be profitable still. It just really depends on your local thrift stores on where if it makes
And
sense
the
or not.
buy cost.
There are certain thrift stores that we've been to where if this was my local thrift store, I wouldn't even step foot in the store because it's just so astronomically priced, and they're just getting incredibly greedy on the thrift store side. So that's one. Now we're going to get into some that we don't really have a ton of experience with.
Okay.
Storage units.
Yeah.
And
We've
this
talked
is
about it.
we've talked about it. We've had discussions. I think you have to be well versed in multiple
It's
categories in
on the
order to
back
work.
burner of if we have to, we may look into
I
it.
did some digging to figure out how our local ones do, and I signed up for like a newsletter, so they'll contact me when it comes out, because I want to actually see what it looks like, and if I'm going to do it, I want it to be somewhere close.
Right.
And then also I was looking at some that were running right now,
Yeah.
and like other
Like
nearby,
online?
like on nearby cities and
Yeah.
stuff, and it's like they'll be in locations, and then they'll have hours of like 10 to 6 or something like that of when they're open to go, and it's like a non air conditioned unit.
Oh no.
Could you imagine going through a storage unit right now
Yeah,
that's
no.
95 degrees? No appeal to me whatsoever in those cases.
Well,
So
I guess that makes sense. Most aren't air conditioned. I didn't even think about that.
yeah, well, you'd be ready to sweat
Ugh.
like
Let's
crazy.
do it in the winter.
So that's an option. Pallets. So you also have those places like that. We have the return stores. Those same types of pallets you can purchase for your own to resell. That is a lot of tchotchkes, and I've seen what other people have ended up with, and it's like a lot of like Target.
How about a pallet of masks?
Yeah.
How are you gonna move those? I mean, it happens. Good morning, Daisy.
But you can
We're
also
glad
get
you're
pretty
here.
specific and ask for specific pallets. Like I want an
I
auto.
think you have to have an
pallet.
in with the distributors. Like
You generally do.
I've seen that on Whatnot, and people have asked, "Where do you get your items?" And they're like, "That is like our gold. We can't share that. If we give you that information, then we are out of business." So like those distributors are hard to find. So it's who you know.
It's a perfect segue to direct source.
Okay.
So that's another thing to where if you have a connection in a situation, like we had a connection at one point where it was with
shoes.
We were getting shoes through a thrift store that really should not have been operating in this way, and it lasted for about 2 months, and it wasn't very profitable for us this time around.
No.
Partly just because the items, we got some like fake Nikes that were nice, but they're still fake. So but there are other ways that you can get sources.
It's
networking and stuff like that. So we really haven't done particularly well in that
And there's
category.
there's someone that works at an auto shop, but there's only one part that they use, and they were gonna sell us the rest of it to sell. But I mean, that's just something that we're not really well versed in, so we wouldn't really.
It's not something we're excited
be interested
about.
in, but those opportunities are there. And so, like, the more that people know that you do this, the more opportunities could come to you.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's a bad thing to let people know that this is what you do. Next up, we have retail arbitrage.
Yep.
You know, that there's apps out there that can help you actually with retail arbitrage. Other times it's just you like going to scan stuff.
Yeah.
I know people do that at like a TJ Maxx and a Kohl's. I've heard people doing it with clearance items at Walmart, where you can do it. And then like recently, there's been a lot of people that are getting out of the media from the retail places, so that's a good opportunity for media resellers to go in and stock up on some old dead stock.
Yeah.
And then pick up while they clearance them out. Online arbitrage is another one, and we do this one actually. I do this one, I should say.
Whatnot?
Yeah, Whatnot.
That's not arbitrage.
I source. Yeah. I'm buying it online and then reselling it. Arbitrage is just finding a different marketplace to sell it. So I'll buy it on.
Any reselling then?
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Like
These
even
are places
garage
or
sales
sources.
is arbitrage.
Correct.
Oh. I just thought it
Yes.
was a whole new category. Like, when I think of arbitrage, I think go to the regular store where they have regular prices, retail stores, and scan things and then resell them. That's what I think. So.
But you can buy stuff online. I know people that buy stuff on eBay to resell on eBay.
Yeah.
People you can buy on Whatnot. You can buy from retail stores as well. Maybe you get a good deal on a clearance. I know there was a period of time where people were doing really well with like Costco golf clubs.
Oh, okay.
And then flipping and reselling those.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different opportunities to where you can go out. There's also like more niche, and just a couple that came to mind that I'm not going to go into any unclaimed luggage. I've seen people buy unclaimed
that's cool.
luggage.
Yeah.
Mail return pallets where like
Okay.
physical mail that got lost and now they've just collected, and you can buy pallets and stuff like that. And then also dumpster diving. People make money dumpster diving.
Yeah.
So to say that there's not an abundance of options for
There's always
sourcing,
things to sell.
it is incredible what.
Even if the whole market tanks and we're all like neighbors helping neighbors, like there's bartering, there's, you have a surplus of this, I have this, and like it's always going to be a thing.
So I feel like, yeah, it's one of the oldest professions. It's always going to be around to some degree. So maybe you're being pinched in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's time for you to step out and try a different sourcing
Yeah.
option or technique. So what I'm curious to know is, if you're watching at this point, tell me down below, what is your favorite one of the options? And maybe I didn't mention an option of
Yeah.
sourcing that you're like, oh, I like doing this. Like,
And he didn't say it.
say that down
Yeah.
below. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I don't mind it at all. With that being said, we'll jump into our sales. We have 11 items going out. And first, we have a DVD box set of On the Road with Charles Curran, Americana Collection. This
Curl.
box set went for $17.95 plus shipping.
All right.
Um,
Our patio is done.
ugh,
It got delivered,
My
like the
back is
gravel
done.
got delivered yesterday, and then we finished it all yesterday. Oof. My
Yeah.
parents and my kids, everyone helped.
Next up, a Scentsy warmer. This Scentsy warmer went for $33.96 plus shipping,
That's great.
and that thing is like brand new in there. So
We're sore
yeah,
all over. Like,
I'm-
I feel it every time I bend down.
I'm one bad move away from pulling my back right now. Next up, we have an Easton baseball glove. This one we picked
That's
up
a
from Wilson baseball
Is it
glove.
supposed to be Wilson?
A900. Yeah, it is. It
Okay.
is. I just misspoke. A900. These are pretty good, and it sold quickly. $35 plus shipping. I think I paid $4 or $6 at a
I feel like
thrift
every
store.
time you see the A whatever number, like those are worth looking at.
It goes, I think, A500, A900. I think there might be an A1200 and
Okay.
an A2000.
Yeah.
But I might be wrong on that. Next up, I picked this one up at our local thrift store too. It's a really cool little mini helmet for college game day. I did not find any that were out there. I did see one that was signed previously
okay.
that sold for like $70. This one's
Yeah.
unsigned. And I listed it for $40 and ended up taking $37.95 plus shipping.
It's so cute, and it has all the pads on the inside.
Yeah.
That's cute.
A rare VHS that I also picked up the
Big
same day.
Bird in Japan.
So I paid 50 cents for this, sold for $25 plus shipping.
Crazy.
You'd be surprised. Like, I like looking at
know.
the kids VHS
Yeah.
because all it takes is one. And as soon as I saw the title, I was like, I've never seen this before. I feel pretty good about
Yes.
this one. Scan, take it. We're good. This came off of an Atari 2600 that the Atari 2600 does not work. So I sold the power cord. We paid $10 for the entire box that has a bunch of games. This sold for $10 plus shipping. So basically
Everything
got
else will be profit.
just about all our money back,
Yeah.
minus fees, in that case. Next up, Major League Baseball 2K12 for the Nintendo DS, $7 plus shipping on that one. Also from our local thrift store, because this
Very nice.
I rarely buy anything from our local thrift, but this day I went and bought a bunch of stuff, and they all sold pretty quickly. These Hey Dudes, brand new with tags, sold for $32.95 plus shipping, sold via promoted
Very
listing.
fast. You just got them.
I did pay up a little bit. I paid
Yeah.
11, but there was a chance that those could fit my son, and he doesn't.
Not a fan.
He wasn't a fan of them, and so we decided to just go ahead and sell it.
If they were there for $11 and you were only going to resell, would you have got them?
If I
With
knew
the
they were going to
tag.
sell that quickly,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
But granted, the sell-through rate on those wasn't particularly
Oh.
great, so I would have probably left them.
Yeah.
But the fact that I knew they could have fit,
Yeah.
it made sense to do
We got
both.
this at which sale?
This was at one of the long sales.
Yeah.
This was, I think, the
I
301.
think so too.
And this was a random buy late on Friday.
Yeah.
We picked it up for, I think, $10 is what we paid for it. Sold for 80 plus shipping. This is for a bow.
Yeah, bow and arrow.
Tool.
Tool. We don't know what it does.
Fletching tool.
Yes. There you go.
And I've had people reach out to me and ask, is this right or left? It's like, no, I just know it's adjustable.
Yes.
So
Did you?
if
What
it's
did it
not
sell
correct, that sold for 80 plus shipping.
Okay.
If it's not correct,
Yes.
like you can fix it and adjust it. So there you go. Next up, we got an Apple Watch. I'm sure you all have had those times out there where you just keep getting like the same offer for the same item from
All
everybody.
different people.
Like people kept offering me $50, $50,
Oh, wow.
$150, excuse me, $150,
Oh, okay, I was
$150,
gonna say.
$150. And it's like, okay, if I can get $150 every day, I'm not going to accept it
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
Like, why would I do that? We ended up getting 178 plus shipping on that.
This was Bargain Hunt.
Yep, $8.
$8.
So a really good return on that
Yeah.
one.
Hopefully, don't come back. But that's another risk
Well,
that we take with.
So I tested that really well.
Did you?
There's no issues with
Okay.
that watch. So they're going to be really happy with that.
Oh yeah, you even like linked
I
in
linked
to
it.
make sure it was 100% battery.
Yeah, and I checked the battery life,
Life,
everything.
yeah.
I really think that was probably never even used.
Right.
Um,
Well, it says renewed.
I don't think it was even
So,
used.
Yeah.
I mean, only thing that could have happened, but the screen on it is like flawless.
Yeah.
It has 100% battery capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So unless they replace the screen and replace the battery, this
Yeah.
watch has never been used. So
You didn't
somebody
put that in there.
no,
Yeah.
no. I'd rather them think that
Low
it's used
expectations.
and they're going to be ecstatic when they get it.
Yes.
So
What
and,
is your saying? What is it?
uh,
Low and then high or whatever. Low expectations.
if you stop talking, I could think. I put it on my computer because under
Promise, over deliver.
yeah, under promise and over deliver.
Got it.
I put it on my computer because I would always
Yes.
say it all day when I was in sales.
Yeah.
I always wanted to under promise and over deliver. And last item for the day, Leapfrog reader tag. This lot of 2 with the little readers went out on a $10 offer plus shipping.
Glad to
And
see
we've
it.
had it for a long time. So
I don't know why, but I used to buy these all the time. Even if we saw that it didn't sell for much, like
smack.
so now it's like I definitely avoid.
Yeah.
Avoid.
So
They're
Yeah.
not worth it.
no,
So.
it's not worth it. But that is it for the day. So yesterday, that this is kind of where I wanted to talk through it. So we did a lot of work in the back, and that's why I did not end up listing anything.
then
It
we were
completely,
dead.
it completely killed us the rest of the day.
We were migraines, like it was so hot, just shut down for the rest of the day.
And you're in the sun, like 95 degrees sun, and it was one of those things to where we would be working, it's in the sun, you go take a break, the shade come out, and then when you finally say, okay, fine, the shade's out, let's go out, then the sun will come back out. So it's like you never had a break.
We work inside always, so this working outside in the brutal sun like that, like we're not used to it. Like my parents are, like chugging along, doing great, and they do yard projects all the time. They're always outside, garden, pool, rocks, like always doing that. And so they came and helped us, thank goodness.
Yeah, because if it was just us, I thought about this yesterday. If it was just us, we would have gotten 2 fights and never finished.
Yes.
So
there would be rocks on the driveway.
We would have gotten into a fight, say I'm not doing this, and then we would have like took a break,
Yeah.
and then said let's come
It's
back
too
and do
hot.
it together,
Forget
and then
it.
we'd fight again, and then we would have taken a break, and it would probably still be out there.
What house project is not complete without some arguments?
So, yeah, so no listing yesterday, but if there was a good time to do it, it would have been right now because I don't have a ton of stuff to list. I do
Sure.
have some records to clean and get listed. I have some tennis rackets downstairs that can get listed. And then I have a little stack of shoes that can be cleaned and listed,
Yeah.
but it's like 3 pairs, I think, off the top of my head. So I don't have a lot
Yeah.
to list right now.
Ask me what I'm doing today.
What are you doing today?
I am shipping and I'm gonna list.
Oh, this was not expected at all.
No.
So we do have
Surprise.
to drop our car off to get maintenance today at 1:30.
I'll
So
let you do that and walk in the heat.
yeah, I'll drop it off and walk home, and then I'll have to pick it up tomorrow. So the good thing is, not having a car means Beep Beep has to stay home.
I can hitch a ride.
Yeah,
It's not a big deal.
because I swear it's like she gets bored and she's like, I gotta
I'm
go.
telling you, if
gotta
I
go
could
drive.
handle a big semi, that would be like my dream job, I think. Travel, drive.
she's all by herself on that because I have no interest in it.
I know.
But she loves to drive. That's why I think
I
you
do.
always like to do the long sails because
It's
you're
true.
driving.
Yeah. Have to drive there. It's like a little vacation. Have to drive back and throughout the whole thing. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay.
We
well,
balance each other. You
'cause
hate driving and I love
I
driving.
hate traffic so bad. But yeah, so that's the plan for the day. We're gonna
Yes.
get started and
Get to work.
um,
We'll be back in the morning.
yep. So thanks
Thank
for
you
watching,
for joining
everybody.
us.
Take care.
See you later.